Hello family, welcome back. I know in our last video we talked about some random connections between the guide stones and other things going on right now, especially in regards to things like the Mayan calendar, how they had that end of the world predicted to be 2012, and right now, according to the Julian calendar, that's where we are, and looked at connections between the UN building, which looks a lot like these guide stones. And while I did this video, I was unaware that the mystery behind them had been solved. No clue. And like always, after I put out a video, you guys come along and share stuff and help give me more information and awaken me to more truths that I didn't expect to find. And there is a documentary out that one of you shared called, I think it was Dark Clouds Over Elberton. That's the town that these guide stones are in. And the documentary does a pretty good job of answering all the questions we had. It does take advantage of one of the elderly people in the video who was vowed to take certain information to his grave, and they used his vulnerable state of mind to kind of just find and expose that secret, which I really, either way I could live not knowing what's going on here. But it did lead me to some more information that I feel is extremely important when it comes to these false gods that they serve. And it has to do with a Bible verse I came across that I would like to share. And it's one that is in the book of Exodus. And this is the Father speaking to Moses. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. And I heard this right before I made this video the other day, and I had to put off making it because it hit hard when I thought about what's been going on. Because when I was looking in to the guide stones and the purpose behind these things, the person that made them and had them designed and built had some connections to a couple different secret societies, and they are tied together. I'm not going to get into that. I don't want you to just be overly intrigued by that mystery. It's nothing special. It's all the same stuff. These secret societies are all for the same purpose. And the origin, what I was reminded of, he placed this in a certain position, and that position had to be where what he claimed based on the sun's path, and that it would only work in this part of the world. And that's why he went from where he originated in Iowa all the way to Georgia to have these things erected. And I was thinking about that, him using the sun and this monument. And he was originally going to have a pyramid put up here, but the pyramid was too costly because these stones were massive. It was an expensive undertaking. He had help from some of those secret societies, but the sun's position was important to them, similar to the Mayans, the Incans. And I've seen this image before, had no clue that it was a representation of a sun god. And then I had a flashback to that Apocalypto scene where they're about to sacrifice that guy, and there's an eclipse that happens, and they're like, our sun god is happy, and they kind of cheer and everybody, moves along. Well, I started thinking about that, and then I saw that Bible verse that I just read to you, and it all started making sense that the name of the model that we have, this model right here, the model's name, the heliocentric model, this thing here, and even the word solar system. I looked at that and thought, well, this seems kind of innocent. And you do some digging and find out that the Latin sol is a root word that continues to refer to the sun in the present day, such as in the term solar system, was from the most powerful sun god in ancient Rome, Sol, Invictus, meaning unconquered sun. The Father didn't want them mentioning these names because so many people were going after these false gods and being led astray. And you see now our entire system bears the name of one of those sun gods, actually two of those sun gods. In a weird, crafty way, they've managed to do that. Even our days of the week, Thursday. I always thought that was just a superhero. Had no clue we were watching these false gods on TV. I loved the whole superhero hype. I was obsessed with superheroes growing up. I was pretty much worshiping false gods without even realizing it. I wanted to be like Superman. I wanted to fight crime and all those things and have these superpowers. Didn't realize he was really nothing compared to my Father and what he can do and has done. These are tiny little false gods they have that we kind of elevate to this extra high status, but they have tricked us with this, they call a sin trick. I'm sure that's probably a play on that word too, to get us to be comfortable around these little images and look at it like it's art. This is why they've resurrected certain statues in Rome, and it's not because of history and to preserve history. These are statues that need to be torn down. People are getting upset right now about statues being torn down. I don't care about graven images. Don't worry about that. Don't lose sleep over those things getting torn down. No big deal. Let them tear down statues if that makes them happy. Nobody's going to lose out on salvation because they didn't have a statue to look at. Okay, these statues, most of these are sinister. Even, the Statue of Liberty, we've looked at that. That's basically this figure here. Exactly what that is. And that's pretty easy to see that they're putting these names right there in front of us with their missions, days of the week, the system. The number is everywhere. When you're awake, you see this stuff and it's easy, but it helps to share this with those who aren't so that they can make an educated decision. They may not have ever even thought about this, like most of us didn't growing up. We never looked into it or questioned it. We knew the names of the planets that are also named after these false gods, except for Earth. Earth was given its name at creation. What was Earth? Dry land. That's it. But then we were taught that Earth is more than just dry land. It's all of this: water, sky, atmosphere. And if you believe in that, we're not here to condemn you. None of us are. If that happens, I apologize. That's not our purpose here. You can believe in that, but prove all things. If you really fully believe in that, you can still go to heaven. It's not going to break you away from that. But just make sure you, again, use the Holy Spirit to guide you. Seek truth. It's essential that we all do that. But I'm not going to go into all of the stuff I wanted to go into with this video, simply because they want us to mention these names. They want us to see these images. That's why these images are in pop culture everywhere. The hand symbols, the eye symbols, all of this stuff. They want your kids to see it. They want us to repeat them. That's why we could sing the song about the planets in their order, and I can still do that to this day by memory. They've ingrained it into us. And it's time to set ourselves apart from this world. It's not easy. People are going to continue to be asleep. Try to wake them up and know that if they aren't ready, pray for them. There is a battle going on. The evil ones of the occult, they focus on the invisible world, they call it. And they know that they work for powers of darkness. We know that we work against powers of darkness and wickedness in high places. We're not wrestling against flesh and blood or the races like they're trying to get us to believe we are. It's about powers of darkness. That's all it is. The powers of darkness are making all of these little things happen and making people fight against each other, and they're not seeing the real enemy that's coming. But the time is at hand. It's time to be ready. I'm going to say that in every video probably from here on out, because you have to be ready. You need a reminder. We all need a reminder. And you may be somebody new watching this, and that's the people we are reaching for, are those who really need to hear the truth. And the truth is that you are not who you think you are. The Father is far more loving than you think He is, and His grace and mercy for you will set you free. He has already sent His Son, and He's paid that price for all of us so that we can see that love. His long suffering and what He's endured by sending us such a gift is immeasurable. You can't measure that gift. It's something that I couldn't do for any of you, and you need to value it. He is going to be gathering us up rather quickly. Don't be caught off guard. But don't want to get too long-winded here. That was just something I wanted to put out there, sort of a change in what I was seeing. I was almost getting obsessed with some of this information and how deep-rooted all this stuff is. But just know it's a trick to get us to be fixated with all of these false gods, saying their names routinely, and not condemning you for doing that. You know, that's something we've grown up with, and that's all we've known, and that's all other people know it as. So when we talk to them about it, it's hard to not say these names. But I love you guys. The Father loves you. We'll be back soon. Take care and stay ready.